Hi there. My name is Mina Demian, and this is this is my first YouTube video, and it's a making of video. I wanted to document for myself the process of getting back into filmmaking after 7 years, and I made I guess, a hyper short film which I released yesterday, um, entitled Whole. HWHWHOLE. And I never thought I'd upload a YouTube video. I think it was on my trajectory at some point, but I never really got into it. I've been a consumer of YouTube for many years, but I got back into filmmaking, and it wasn't even a decision. It was a decision, but it wasn't like I spent time thinking about it. It was a spur of the moment decision. I wanted to talk really briefly about how I made the film Whole. Um, so I was walking through the forest last Friday, taking photographs. Hadn't picked up my camera in a long time, maybe 10 years plus. And I was walking through a certain patch in the Yumman forest here in Stockholm, and something about the beauty of where I was just struck me, and not, I guess, in the usual sense of wonder or awe, but as if there was something there, and I couldn't quite articulate to myself what was it. But my first instinct, and it's not usually the instinct I follow, um, my first instinct was, maybe there's something to tell here, as if I had uncovered something. So I took out my iPhone and just started just recording video, um, really completely extemporaneous, not really knowing what I was shooting or how or in what order. I was just shooting. And I brought it home, and I made a resolution in the moment that I'm not gonna let this project go until it's done. It's a film. Now, it might not be immediately obvious from the film, uh, but I can tell you as a insider info, uh, I'm a dialogue person. I'm a words person. So all of my previous unfinished ideas in film have been largely either dialogue based, or what script writing or screenwriting books talk about mini plot. So meaning, not necessarily stories that get moved forward by narrative or by action or by story, more like internal things happening in the characters. Now, I didn't understand this for a long, long time. Um, so I came back, I looked at the footage, and I was fully ready to just, as is, because that was the whole point. I've struggled for many years to finish projects, and now I just wanted to finish a project. So I looked at the footage, and there wasn't really a story because I was going to rely on voiceover, and a voiceover and the images. And when I put the voiceover and the images, uh, there wasn't a lot there. So uh, I did what anybody, I guess, does in 2025, and I went on YouTube. And because I was more focused on finishing the film more than it being perfect, which for me is a huge moment in my artistic life, I just started watching just enough YouTube to get me what I needed to know in order to finish. So I watched a bunch of videos, and I realized that the missing part in a lot of my unfinished film projects is there's no story. It's mostly dialogue and it's mostly audio. So I um, don't have budget, and I've now imposed a deadline on myself. I don't want this to take a week or a month or whatever. So I said, okay, what do I have around me uh, that can be a character, that can be something? Because the whole point of this now is I just want something. I want someone to discover this beautiful place in the forest, and I want this someone or something to express amazement. And I was struck by the idea that I had just found a bag of these old figurines and figures and that I had gotten as gifts. And I said, well, how about I just use something that I have? And I found a figurine of a rabbit, which features in the final film, with a broken ear. And then it struck me that, okay, well, something with a rabbit, a broken ear, nature, and I ended up again extemporaneously. I ended up at the idea of the film. So the film was shot over 3 days with an iPhone, edited in Final Cut Pro. Um, all the audio and music was also done in Logic. And I did not follow a usual workflow for this film because I really thought that the first shooting, after the first shoot, the movie would be over. So I shot the original footage, and then I went home and made a little basic score. I put together some little voiceovers, and then when I realized that I didn't have a story, and I really wanted a story, I went out and reshot, or I did a second shoot, um, and then I put it all together. And at the very end, I was overcome by a familiar sense of dread and inadequacy. I didn't know if I could finish this because perhaps a video for a future time. I've struggled with this, so I just said, okay, I'm just gonna make it and finish it, and it doesn't matter. Um, I'm really proud of what it is, given that it's a short film of a minute and a half, uh, and it is a film about being made whole. And it's also a big moment for me to celebrate that I wrote a story that has a pretty much a beginning, middle and end, even though it's only a minute and a half. But that's the basic process. So I did all the work. It was meant to be short and sweet and simple. Um, it's also my first film completely self-produced, completely self-made, and I'm somebody who has struggled with perfectionism for a really long time. So I just wanted to make it and finish it, and that's the point of this video. And thank you for watching.